delusional liberals who call themselves progressives, who didn't pay attention to what I just told you, which was Joe Biden already said he was open to this because he stands for nothing. He stands for nothing. Where you been? See, people think that we don't like Joe Biden because we like Trump. That's not even it. That's not. I wouldn't like Joe Biden if Joe Biden ran against this pen. Okay, Biden eyes GOP candidates for cabinet slots. Joe Biden is considering breaking down the barriers. Now, if you didn't pay attention to the primaries, you may have missed the fact that he already said he was going to do this.
If you are the nominee, as she suggested over there, you're going to have to pull out all the stops. Our 21-year-old son said the other night, I wonder if Joe Biden would consider choosing a Republican as running mate.
The answer is I would. But I can't think of one now. No, I'm serious. No, here's what I mean. Let me explain it. You know, there's some really decent Republicans that are out there still. But here's the problem right now with the well-known ones. They've got to step up.
Joe Biden already made it very clear that he doesn't have an ideology, unless the ideology is privatization of public goods, to sell to corporations, to screw over the little man, and put money in the pockets of corporations. That's his ideology. That and bomb, go to war, put money in corporations, take money from lobbyists, screw over the American people. That's Joe Biden's plan. It is a track record, is what it is. Progressives fret as Joe Biden's transition team vets a handful of Republicans for his potential administration. No, progressives don't fret. Progressives go, I told you. Delusional liberals who call themselves progressives, who didn't pay attention to what I just told you, which was Joe Biden already said he was open to this because he stands for nothing. He stands for nothing. Where you been? See, people think that we don't like Joe Biden because we like Trump. That's not even it. That's not. I wouldn't like Joe Biden if Joe Biden ran against this pen. You understand what I'm saying? I would still be saying these things about Joe Biden because they are true. Joe Biden doesn't have something he's willing to stand on. And that's horrible because in times like these, the most income inequality since the Gilded Age, they say. 34% of black children living under the poverty line. We need somebody to stand for something. Reverend Barber talks about it all the time. We're trying to fight poverty, and we need a president, a leader who's willing to stand on that to secure wages for people to move from underclass to middle class, to be able to move from out of shelters, off the street, into homes. So, and Joe Biden, a person who has no ideology, no ethics, he's not standing for anything, is not the guy to lead the charge. Now, just who are some of these people that Joe Biden is considering in his quest to run to the center? Yeah, because he was concerned that all the big money people, all the big donors may get a little skittish. Because some of them believe some of Trump's rhetoric when he says that Joe Biden is a socialist. And he's listening to Bernie Sanders and listening to the AOC. So he's just letting people know, hey, man, I don't care about nobody, man. Come on, man, we're America. We can do whatever we want to do. See, Americans, we can do whatever we want to do. Man, come on, man. We built this country, man, on the backs of blacks and indigenous people, man. Come on, man. We can build it some more on the same backs. We can just keep building it. But he's interested in this guy. John Kasich. Joe Biden is considering John Kasich, ex-Ohio Governor, for a cabinet spot, report says. Yeah. John Kasich. Now, my folks out there in Ohio probably know him much better. As the prisons for profit guy, under Kasich, Ohio becomes laboratory for privatizing public jails. Yeah, Ohio holds the distinction. People say, what does Ohio stand for? Well, besides the fact that LeBron James' hometown, Ohio holds the distinction of being the first state to sell off a public prison to a private corporation. And who was governor when that happened? You guessed it, John Kasich. It happened in 2011 when Governor John Kasich oversaw the sale of Lake Erie Correctional Institute to the Corrections Corporation of America. The sale was promoted as a way to save the state money. But according to the ACLU of Ohio, the plan largely backfired. So John Kasich, John Kasich doesn't stand for anything either. I mean, unless you count fracking and privatization of public goods, handing off into the pockets of corporations in order to benefit corporations and to stick to working people. Oh, man, it sounds just like Joe Biden. I can think of no other example that crystallizes my point better. And the point that you'll hear a lot of progressives say, which is, we don't really have two parties. We got two wings on the same bird. We don't really have two parties. We got a two-headed dragon. We don't really have two parties. We got one party that's schizophrenic at times. That's all it is. It's just, look, I wish it was another way. I know that people are unhappy to hear it. You want to shoot the messenger. I know that's what you want to do. But you need to understand, it's not about hating Joe Biden. I do my best to make sure people are informed about Joe Biden because I want the revolution to continue. I want us to continue to rise up and fight the system. I don't want people going back to sleep thinking everything's good because Joe Biden got elected, if he gets elected. People did that under Obama. Instead of championing for these causes throughout, not everybody, not everyone, some of you stayed out there the whole time, some of you were engaged the whole time. Obama woke me up. Obama's betrayal of me and of black people who 96% of black people voted for Obama. Him betraying us after doing that for him, that woke me up.
You may have heard Hillary's opponent in this election say that there's never been a worse time to be a black person. I mean, he missed that whole civics lesson about slavery and Jim Crow. But we got a museum for him to visit. So he can tune in.
Sometimes it takes such a kick in the teeth for you to become aware. What I don't want is for people to go back to sleep under Joe Biden and think, woo, glad that Trump nightmare is over. Now we can get back to high poverty rate. A mountain of student debt, war in 7 countries, vets freezing on the street, mass incarceration, environmental catastrophes, toxic water, toxic air, toxic politics, police brutality, extrajudicial killings, spying on our own people. I mean, stop me when we're wrong. Stop me, when you get tired of listening of all the things that you want us to just shut up and get back to. I mean, I understand that COVID-19 has really shown the incompetence of Donald Trump and his administration. I get that all day. I understand it. I respect it. I believe it. You got me there, Johnson. But barring that, a lot of the other garbage, besides the hot rhetoric, besides Twitter, which Joe Biden promises never to do again because I heard he don't know how to use Twitter. Can't work the tweet. Just besides that, if Joe Biden has Joe Biden is more willing to pull a Republican or to appoint Republicans than he is to appoint Bernie Sanders or to appoint people who supported Bernie Sanders. Because all these people who are saying he's too to the left, if he was too to the left, who would be in his cabinet? But you know who will be in this cabinet? Wall Street. Neoliberals. Republicans. And to all those people who say it don't matter, you just worried about your bag. I get it.
was not a fan of both.
You were not a fan of the balanced budget amendment, which called for cuts in Social Security? Come on, Joe, you won't.
Look, here's the deal.
You're an honest guy. Why don't you just tell the truth here? We all make mistakes.
I am telling the truth.